Welcome to the Anxious Love Coach podcast, a place for creating meaningful, conscious, secure, long-term partnerships. My name is Natalie Kennedy, and I'm your host. I'm a relationship anxiety coach and meditation teacher. If you haven't yet, be sure to join my communities over on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Anxious Love Coach. You can also request a 30-minute relationship anxiety assessment with me, depending on availability, or ask me a question over on my website at www.anxiouslovecoach.com. Hello, welcome back to the podcast. I'm going to try to make this quick because you are probably busy with holiday shopping and all sorts of things. But you might be feeling the pinch of holiday shopping and thinking about money. And I thought I would bring this topic up because someone actually asked it in my Patreon. And I have paraphrased it to, what do I do when my guy doesn't have their shit together yet? So basically, if you are a woman who is maybe starting to think about settling down and having kids, I'm typically speaking to women who maybe are dating someone who is of similar age, and the woman is in her mid-20s, and maybe the guy is the same age as you, or maybe even a little older or a little younger. Basically within a 2 or 3 year age gap, although it could be more, and every person's different, so I don't want to generalize too much, but I can relate to this. My husband is only 3 years older than I am. And there was a brief period of time when I was about 26 or 27 where I started feeling this massive pressure to figure out where I stood with him. Because let's face it, women have a biological clock. You may or may not want kids, but even if you don't want kids, you might want the option of having kids. And so if you do even just want the option of having kids, you are aware that a thing called menopause exists and you don't know when that's going to kick in. And so you probably want to maximize your options. But at the same time, it takes time to find a partner and vet them. And even just settling down with someone between the time you decide when you're going to have a partner and you get engaged, for the engagement if you're going the traditional route, and then the time between the engagement and the wedding. And then maybe you have a honeymoon. And then after that, you might start trying. It might take you a year to get pregnant. And then you might get pregnant and you might statistically 25% chance you'll have a miscarriage. And what if you miss, that miscarriage could happen anytime in those 9 months. And if that happens, you got to heal and recover and start over. And so realistically, I always told people budget 5 years in to when you finally decide on a partner and you having a baby in your hands, budget 5 years into that. So I'm not saying that you need to rush, but I don't want you to think that you have unlimited time, because in today's day and age, women are more, and men are more educated than ever. And as a result, they really take their time vetting, as they should. Thank God that we have the ability to do that. And I don't want you to spend so long vetting that you waste your most precious years on the wrong man, or even with the right man, but just sitting on the fence and not allowing yourself to proceed because it doesn't look the way that you expected. So I have a Patreon, and I used to post exclusive content there, but not as much now because I'm a mom and I'm really busy. But I've been very upfront with my patrons about this, but I do host a monthly thing. I have a monthly Q&A for those who attend a call live. And then I typically do a weekend Q&A in a comment section. So there's a live call and then there's a comment section that I do for the whole weekend. So you can submit questions if you're not going to be able to attend live. If you are able to attend live, I can have more of a back and forth conversation with you. And also I provide discounts for pretty much everything. By the way, if you're listening to this now, I'm actually going to be hosting a little New Year's intention setting workshop. It's not really relationship anxiety related, but you can make it relationship anxiety related. Maybe it's the year you get clarity, or the year you make a decision, or whatever. But anyway, if you're interested, I'll include the show notes. It's going to be on December 19th if you want to have a little workshop where you hang out with me and my dear friend Steffi Price, who is running Unwavering with me. We're going to be doing a little intention setting workshop. If you're part of Unwavering, it's free. If you're a patron, it's free. If you want to sign up for it outside of that, it's $25. I'll include the link in the show notes either way. But as I'm running my Patreon monthly Q&A right now, and one of the questions was, hey, I'm dating a guy who is really wonderful, and I'm 25 and he's 26, and he's kind of flip-flopping in his career. And I'm feeling really anxious about it because I am worried that I'm not going to be able to rely on him financially. And I get that. Traditionally, before I think the rise of feminism, which was not a bad thing, traditionally, women would not necessarily marry for love. They would marry for resources. And you would typically marry a man who had established themselves in some way so that you could rely on them. Because if you had to be breastfeeding and pregnant and all that stuff, if you had to work on top of that and bring the bacon home, oh my God, that is too much work. So traditionally, the women would handle the household and the babies and manage the body of the household and the physical bodies of the children and the bodies of themselves. And then the guy would go outside the home and bring money and resources and food home and feed the family. And usually a man would need time to kind of get established. So that's why women have generally been with older men. And there would be at minimum, like a 5, 10. I even know women who have dated and married men 12 years their senior. And I don't think that's not by design. I think generally men who are in their 30s and 40s and even 50s are going to be more established than men in your 20s. That doesn't mean you can't ever date men in your 20s. I did. I was 19 when I met my now husband, but he was 22 at the time. He did not have his shit together. He came from a good family that generally had their shit together. But I would say he didn't really start making good money in a way until his later 20s. And fortunately, I really trusted in his character. I saw that he was motivated to make money. I didn't have to motivate him to. And so for me, that was kind of the deciding factor that made me trust that he's going somewhere. So if that's you, that I think is the thing you want to look for. Is this guy going somewhere? Do you see where he's going? And if you don't, you might want to have a conversation with him. And the thing about a guy in his 20s, I just want to say this in the least, what's the word? I'll say this in the bluntest way possible, the most honest, heartfelt way I can say it. He's probably figuring things out. Your 20s, especially for men who might want to be providers one day in families, they are figuring things out. Your 20s are your time to mess up and take risks and try things out. So that's what they're doing. If you're dating one of these guys, you're probably going to find them to be a lot more fun and interesting because they're exploring things, they're trying things out, but they do not have establishments. They haven't established anything at that age. Some have, but most won't. The curve of like how established you are is going to kind of go up. The older they get, assuming they have any masculine energy and ambition whatsoever, the older they get, typically they might have more success. That's not true universally, but I'm just naming a pattern. I want to tell you about something I have coming up in 2026. You may already know the story behind my relationship anxiety or relationship OCD, how I went to Austria searching for clarity about my relationship with my now husband, Preston, and how I met a woman named Steffi Price, who taught me a series of meditation-based practices that completely changed my life. And over time, I distilled those teachings down to 3 core practices. At their core, these are practices that ended my relationship anxiety for good, the same ones that led me to call my partner and tell him I was ready to fully commit, and I haven't looked back since. We're married with a baby now. So in 2026, I'm going to be running 3 live group programs, each 8 weeks long on Saturday mornings Pacific time. Each program focuses on one of these 3 practices, and Steffi herself will be joining to teach alongside me. You'll be able to sign up for these programs individually throughout the year, but I've also created something called Unwavering, the year to end the drama in your relationships. It's a year-long program, and it's going to include access to all 3 of these programs, plus a monthly call that might be a workshop or a Q&A or some kind of deeper integration support. If you think you might be interested in even 2 of these programs, Unwavering will already be a better deal than signing up for them individually. And honestly, I find these practices work best when they're done together. All 3 of the exercises are partner-based practices, which makes the group format especially powerful. We'll be meeting live on Zoom, and you'll be placed into breakout rooms to practice together, and Steffi and I will be supervising. These are intimacy practices, communication practices, capacity building practices, inner child-based practices, anxiety relieving practices, all really rolled up into one, and also I think they're really creative and fun. If you think you might want to work with me over the course of a year, Unwavering is going to be an incredible option. You're also going to be able to post in a really sophisticated community, message me, and receive a level of support that I don't offer anywhere else online. I'm not going to be, aside from private one-on-one work. And for those inside Unwavering, I'm also going to be offering discounted one-on-one rates if you want more intimate support behind the scenes. I have truly never offered anything like this before as a new mom. It's a great way for me to focus on one thing for 1 year and be supported in doing so. So it's already very intimate. We have 20 women enrolled and we don't even start the first program until February. So it's kind of crazy. We're already starting to have conversations and it's shaping up to be a beautiful long-term journey of support, growth, and maturity. So if you're done with quick fixes and you're ready for a deeper, longer-term approach to healing relationship anxiety, ending wishy-washiness, the spiraling, growing up emotionally, and becoming a sovereign woman in partnership, this might be the year that you stop bringing the drama that doesn't serve you. So if you're interested, you can find the link in the show notes to learn more and join Unwavering in 2026. So if your guy doesn't have his shit together in his 20s, that's okay if you see that he is ambitious and he's going somewhere and he's got a good head on his shoulders. If he's pretty logical, if he can read the room well, if he can read situations well. And obviously this is all subjective and we could have arguments about this all day long, but I'm speaking in generalizations here. So if you want a guy that has his shit together, you might have to date older, generally speaking. But like I said, if he's in his 20s, then he might not have his shit together, and you have to ask yourself whether you trust where he's going. Do you trust in his ability to succeed? And also, this is another thing. Let's say you get married and you have a kid and you don't have he still doesn't quite have his shit together. He doesn't have like an established career. That doesn't necessarily have to be a problem if you trust in your man's ability to grind away if he has to for the sake of taking care of his family. And that is a values thing. Does he look like the kind of man that would break his back if he had to make sure his babies are fed? That is a good man. So you might have a guy who's figuring things out, but if you look at, what kind of family he comes from, are they capable of being hardworking if it comes down to it, or are they kind of more selfish and they really only look out for themselves and don't take care of each other? So in my husband's family they've got Chinese background. They stick together and they break their bones for each other, sometimes to a fault. But I knew I could count on Preston for sure. If there ever came a point where he had to put the pedal to the metal, I knew that he would die for me and take care of this family. So if he doesn't have his shit together right now, is he the kind of guy that if you got pregnant or you were in a crisis, would he be there or would he run? So that's something that you need to be able to read when you're looking at your partner, when you're looking at a man. I'm speaking to women in their 20s. Can you rely on him? Does his character show that he would die for you if he were to marry you and potentially have kids with? But does he need to know who he is for sure? Does he need to have an empire established? No, I don't think so. Most men in their 20s don't. But that means if you're choosing him, that there's going to be more uncertainty. You're going to have to practice faith. And ideally, you don't just blindly have faith in this. Ideally, he has a good track record. Ideally, he has good values. Ideally, he comes from a good family. Okay? That doesn't mean that if he doesn't, it's impossible. But I'm saying the more variables you have that are uncertain, the more faith you're going to have, and make sure that whatever you have faith in, it's worth having faith in. So I can't tell you that. That's something you got to work out between you and God. But that's really it. If there's a lot of uncertainty based on the stage of life that he's in, it doesn't matter that he's in a relationship. He might love you, but he still has to figure out who he is. He would have to do that with any woman he was with. So it's not personal. Just because he's in a relationship with you doesn't mean he's going to drop everything and not try to figure out who he is and where he stands in this world. That's part of his masculine identification process. So trust that this is a phase in his life, but also, do you see where he's going? Has he communicated that with you? Are you included in his vision? I know a lot of men out there who are just stringing women along and just having fun, and they're just a placeholder, and they hold a place for them in their temporary current life, but they're like holding a place also for some perfect queen in the future, and that queen is not you. okay? Unfortunately, men like this do exist. So make sure that that future that he is planning includes you in it if you're not actively his wife right now. And so as a woman, you got to be smart. And there are good men out there, but there are also bad ones. And I really think it comes down to intentions. And a man will be very upfront about whether he cares about you and is serious about you. So that's not to say he owes you certainty. That's not to say he owes you promises that he can't keep or he can't make. But when a guy is really into you, you'll know, ladies, he won't stop calling you. Okay, that doesn't mean if he doesn't call you all the time, he doesn't care. But I really think when a guy is into a woman, he will make it very known. And if he's not into you, it could be something you're doing, or it could just be that you're a placeholder. And sometimes we have to be honest with ourselves about that. I, as a relationship anxiety coach, know that there's always nuance to this. I feel a temptation to list out all the disclaimers, but then this podcast wouldn't be short today. And like I said, you have holiday shopping to do, and I do too. So that's it. I hope that's helpful. That's all. I'll be in touch. I hope you have a wonderful holiday if this is the last time you listen to me before the holidays, and otherwise, Happy New Year. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks so much for listening to The Anxious Love Coach today. If you loved this episode, please hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and maybe share it with someone that you believe might benefit from these perspectives. If you would like to work with me, head on over to my website at anxiouslovecoach.com to explore different tiers of coaching options and online programs. Thanks again for listening, and catch you in the next episode. Have a blessed day.